Good evening. Welcome back to the Drift Bureau. This is file number 003. Tonight we take you somewhere vast, somewhere silent, somewhere that makes you feel both infinitely small and deeply connected to everything. Tonight you leave the cities behind, leave the coasts behind, leave the forests and stations and all human construction behind. Tonight you go to the desert, to the high desert of New Mexico, to a place where the sky is not above you but around you, where the darkness is not empty but full, where the silence teaches you things you didn't know you needed to learn. Tonight you are an astronomer, a sky observer, working alone at the painted Mesa research station, a small observatory perched on a plateau 7,000 feet above sea level, miles from the nearest town, hours from the nearest city, so remote that the darkness here is complete, so isolated that the stars outnumber your thoughts, so quiet that you can hear the universe breathing. Your assignment is simple. Watch the sky, record observations, monitor instruments. But the real work is deeper. The real work is learning to be small, learning to let go, learning that your worries, your fears, your endless concerns are just tiny sparks in an infinite darkness. And somehow that knowledge brings peace. Close your eyes. Let go of where you are. Let yourself drift across distance and time, across highways and deserts and mesas, to a place where the air is thin and cold and clean, where the ground is red and ancient, where the sky is everything. Step into this life, this solitary life, this life of watching, of waiting, of witnessing the cosmos. You are the observer, and tonight the universe observes you back. Let's begin your drift. Act 1. Arrival at Painted Mesa. It's 8 p.m. The sun set an hour ago. You're driving the last stretch of unpaved road. Red dirt, washboard surface, your truck bouncing gently over ruts, headlights cutting through the gathering darkness. To your left, sagebrush. To your right, more sagebrush. Endless desert scrub stretching in all directions. The landscape is spare, minimal, just earth and sky and the thin line between them. The road climbs, gradually, steadily. You're ascending the mesa, the plateau that rises above the desert floor like an island in a sea of sand. Painted Mesa, named for the striated rock, layers of red and orange and cream, millions of years of geological history written in stone. You've seen it in daylight. The colors are stunning, but at night it's just shapes. Just darker darkness against dark sky. Your truck's thermometer reads 52 degrees. It was 85 when you left Albuquerque this afternoon. 3-hour drive. The temperature dropped with the elevation and the sunset. By midnight it will be near freezing. Desert temperature. Extreme swings. Scorching days. Frigid nights. No moisture to hold the heat. The air gives up its warmth quickly, surrenders to the cold. You'll need your heavy jacket, thermal layers. The observatory is not heated at night. Can't be. Heat creates air currents, distorts observations, ruins data, so you work in the cold. You've learned to accept it, even appreciate it. The cold keeps you alert, keeps you present, keeps you aware of your body in space. The road levels out. You've reached the top of the mesa, the plateau, flat expanse of desert. And there, ahead, the compound. 3 buildings. The main observatory. A white dome against the darkening sky. Beside it, the equipment building. Small. Utilitarian. Solar panels on the roof. And separate 50 yards away, the living quarters. Your home for the next 2 weeks. Tiny building. Barely more than a cabin. But sufficient. Bed. Kitchenette. Bathroom. Desk. Everything you need. Nothing you don't. You park beside the living quarters. Turn off the engine. The silence is immediate. Profound. Not the silence of closed rooms or quiet libraries. The silence of empty space. Of thin air. Of absence. You sit for a moment, letting it settle. Letting your ears adjust. Then you hear it. The not silence. The barely perceptible sound. When constant wind. Blowing across the mesa. Across the sagebrush. Across the red rock. A whisper. A sigh. The breath of the desert. Always there. Day and night. A presence. A companion. You step out. The air is crisp, dry, clean. No smell. That's what strikes you every time. The air here has no scent, no moisture, no decay, no life. Just air. Pure and empty. You breathe deep. Fill your lungs. The thin air makes you breathe harder. Deeper. More deliberately. 7,000 feet. Less oxygen. Your body knows. Compensates. You've been here enough times. A week every month for the past year. Your body remembers. Adjusts quickly. The sky is already showing stars. Hundreds of them. Thousands. And it's not even full dark yet. Not even astronomical twilight. Just civil twilight fading to nautical twilight. The sun still reflecting light from below the horizon. Painting the western sky deep blue fading to purple. But even with that residual light, the stars are visible. Bright. Clear. Unwavering. No atmosphere here to make them twinkle. Or very little. The air is so dry. So thin. The stars look painted on. Fixed. Eternal. You unload your truck. 2 bags. One with clothes and toiletries. One with food. Simple food. Things that don't require much preparation. Pasta. Rice. Canned soup. Bread. Peanut butter. Coffee. Lots of coffee. You're not here to cook. Not here to eat well. Here to observe. Here to watch. Here to collect data. Food is just fuel. Just necessity. You eat to stay warm. Stay alert. Stay functional. The living quarters door is unlocked. No need for locks out here. No one comes. No one passes. The nearest human is probably the rancher 20 miles north. And he never comes up here. This is federal land. Bureau of Land Management. The observatory built by the university through a special permit. Researching dark skies. Light pollution. Atmospheric conditions. Your grant. Your project. Your work. For 1 year. 1 year of monthly observations, 2 weeks each month, alone on the Mesa, watching the sky, recording data, writing your dissertation, then back to the university, back to the city, back to the other life, the day life, the crowded life, the life that feels less real every time you return to it. Inside the cabin is cold. You flip the switch, lights come on, LED bulbs, bright, harsh, powered by solar panels and batteries. Everything here is off-grid, self-sufficient. The university installed the system 5 years ago. Minimal maintenance, maximum reliability. You have light. You have water from a cistern. You set down your bags. Look around. Everything as you left it 2 weeks ago. Bed made. Dishes clean. Desk organized. You're careful about that. Always leave it clean. Always leave it ready. Because you never know what state you'll be in when you return. Exhausted from driving. Distracted by data. Preoccupied by thoughts. Best to arrive to order. To cleanliness. To a prepared space. You check your watch. 8:27 p.m. The sun set at 7:15. Astronomical twilight will end around 9. Full darkness by 9:15. You have time. Time to settle. Time to prepare. Time to transition from the traveling self to the observing self. You change into warmer clothes. Thermal underwear. Wool socks. Fleece pullover. The heavy parka is hanging by the door. You'll put that on later. When you go to the dome. When the real work begins. You make coffee. French press. Simple. Reliable. No electricity needed except to boil water. You use the electric kettle. Push the button. Wait. The water heats. Bubbles. Clicks off. You pour it over the grounds. Dark coffee. Coarse grind. Strong. The smell fills the small space. Rich. Earthy. Grounding. You wait 4 minutes. Press the plunger. Pour a cup. No milk. No sugar. Just black coffee. Hot and bitter and perfect. You sit at the desk. Sip the coffee. Look at your notes from the last session. 2 weeks ago. Clear skies for 11 of 14 nights. Good data. Strong observations. You logged meteor counts. Tracked satellites. Monitored light pollution levels. Photographed the Milky Way core. All of it recorded. All of it backed up. All of it part of the larger study. The question you're trying to answer. How much has light pollution increased in the last decade? How much darker can skies be? What are we losing? What can we preserve? The work matters. But that's not really why you're here. Not the whole reason. You're here because you need this. Need the silence. Need the darkness. Need the vastness. Your life in the city is loud. Crowded. Full of voices and opinions and demands. Full of emails and meetings and obligations. Full of people who want things from you. Want your time. Your energy. Your attention. And you give it. Because you have to. Because that's how the world works. But it drains you. Empties you. Leaves you hollow. Here you refill. Here in the silence and the dark you remember who you are. Remember that you're not just a graduate student or a researcher or a teaching assistant. You're a human, a small human, on a small planet, in a small solar system, in an average galaxy, in an incomprehensibly large universe. And that perspective, that cosmic perspective, that's what saves you. Saves you from the weight of small concerns, small dramas, small pains. Everything is small. Everything is temporary. Everything passes. The universe doesn't care about your dissertation defense or your relationship problems or your student loans. The universe just is. And somehow that's comforting. Somehow that's freeing. You finish the coffee. Stand. Stretch. Time to check the equipment. Time to begin the work. You pull on the parka. Zip it to your chin. Step outside. The cold hits harder now. Full dark approaching. Temperature dropping fast. You walk the path to the dome. 50 yards. Gravel crunching under your boots. The wind steady. Pushing against you. Not strong. Just persistent. Always there. You can see your breath. Small clouds. Disappearing immediately into the dry air. The observatory dome is white. Fiberglass. 15 feet in diameter. It sits on a concrete pad. Rotating base. Inside the telescope. Not huge. 12-inch reflector. Modest by professional standards. But perfect for your work. Perfect for wide field observation. For tracking. For long exposures. For seeing what the sky wants to show you. You unlock the door. Step inside. Warmer here. Barely. The dome holds some heat from the day. But not much. You flip switches. Red lights come on. Dim red lights. They don't ruin your night vision. Don't interfere with observation. Everything in observatories is red at night. Red light doesn't trigger the rods in your eyes. Doesn't reset your dark adaptation. You can work in red light and still see stars. Still see the faint objects. Still do the work. The telescope sits on its mount. German equatorial mount. Counterweights and gears. Precisely aligned to the celestial pole. Tracking the rotation of the Earth. Compensating for our spin. Keeping objects centered. Keeping them still relative to the instrument. Even though everything is moving. Earth rotating. Moon orbiting. Planets circling. Galaxies spinning. Everything in motion. Constant motion. But the mount compensates. Creates the illusion of stillness. Creates the possibility of observation. You begin the startup sequence. Power on the mount. Power on the tracking motors. Power on the camera. Power on the computer. Everything hums to life. Green LEDs. Status lights. Systems initializing. You've done this hundreds of times. Could do it blind. But you're careful. Methodical. Don't skip steps. Don't rush. Astronomy requires patience. Requires precision. Requires respect for the equipment and the process in the sky. While the systems boot, you open the dome shutter. Manual crank. You turn it. Slowly. The shutter splits. Rolls back. Opens to the sky. Cold air pours in. The temperature inside the dome drops immediately, equilibrating with outside. That's important. Can't have temperature differential. Can't have warm air rising through the light path. Would create turbulence. Would blur the images. Ruin the data. So you let the dome get cold. Let it match the night. You step outside the dome. Look up. And there it is. The sky. The full sky. Astronomical twilight over. True darkness arrived. And the stars. Oh, the stars. More stars than darkness. More light than void. The Milky Way stretched overhead. A river of light. Billions of stars. So dense they create a glow. A luminous band across the sky. From horizon to horizon. Northeast to southwest. The plane of our galaxy. Seen edge on from our position in one of the spiral arms. You've seen it hundreds of times. Thousands. But it never gets old. Never becomes routine. Every time is the first time. Every time takes your breath. You stand there. Head tilted back. Neck bent. Mouth slightly open. Breathing the cold air. Watching the stars. Not thinking. Not analyzing. Not observing professionally. Just being. Just existing under the infinite. Just letting the vastness wash over you. Letting it put things in perspective. Letting it remind you how small you are. How brief. How utterly insignificant. And how beautiful that is. How freeing. How peaceful. Act 2. The first observations. You return to the dome. Check the systems. Everything ready. Everything nominal. You sit at the computer. Pull up the observation schedule. Tonight's targets. 3 asteroid tracks. Routine observations. Part of a larger survey. Looking for near-Earth objects. Rocks that might someday pose a threat. Or might not. Mostly might not. But we watch anyway. We track. We catalog. We know where things are. Where they're going. We reduce uncertainty. We create knowledge. The first target rises in the east. You input coordinates. The mount whirs. Motors engaging. The telescope swings. Smooth motion. Stops precisely. Centered on empty space. Empty to the naked eye. But the camera sees more. You start the exposure. 30 seconds. The shutter opens. Light collects. Photons that traveled millions of miles. For millions of years. All to hit this sensor. This piece of silicon. In this dome. On this mesa. On this planet. In this moment. Captured. Recorded. Saved. The exposure finishes. The image appears on screen. Stars. Hundreds of stars. Faint ones. Ones you couldn't see by eye. But the camera sees them. And there. A slight streak. Motion blur. The asteroid. Moving against the background stars. Moving fast enough that over 30 seconds it traces a line. A faint line. But measurable. You take another image. Then another. 3 images. Enough to calculate trajectory. Enough to update the orbit. Enough to contribute to the database. The global database of known objects. One more rock cataloged. One more uncertainty reduced. You move to the second target. Repeat the process. Point. Expose. Record. The work is repetitive. Could be boring. Could be tedious. But you find it meditative. The routine. The precision. The quiet focus. You're not thinking about tomorrow. Not thinking about yesterday. Not thinking about anything except this. This target. This moment. This data point. Present. Fully present. That's what the work gives you. Permission to be here. To be now. To let everything else fall away. Between exposures you step outside. Look up. Check the sky with your eyes. Not instruments. Just eyes. Adapted now. Fully dark adapted. Able to see faint objects. You can see nebulae. Fuzzy patches. The Andromeda Galaxy. Visible to naked eye from here. 2.5 million light years away. The farthest thing visible without instruments. You're seeing light that left that galaxy 2.5 million years ago. When humans were just beginning to use stone tools. When we were barely conscious. Barely aware. And that light traveled all this time. Through all that space. To arrive here. Now. To your eye. To your consciousness. To this moment of recognition. It makes you feel strange. Unmoored from time. Your life is measured in years. Decades at most. But the universe measures in billions. Your entire species is a blink. All of human history. All of art and war and love and suffering. All of it. A fraction of a percent of cosmic time. Less than a rounding error. And yet here you are. Conscious. Aware. Able to look up and understand what you're seeing. Able to know that you're small. That's the paradox. The beautiful paradox. You're insignificant and yet you're the universe looking at itself. Your matter arranged in such a way that it became aware. Became curious. Became capable of wonder. You breathe the cold air. Feel your lungs expand. Contract. Your heart beating. Blood moving. Electrical impulses firing in your brain. All the machinery of consciousness. Of life. Temporary machinery. Borrowed elements. Carbon and oxygen and hydrogen and nitrogen. Calcium and phosphorus and iron. Star stuff. Elements forged in the cores of dying stars. Exploded into space. Gathered into new clouds. Collapsed into new stars. New planets. New life. You are literally made of stars. Literally cosmic. Literally part of the universe. Not separate from it. Not observing it from outside. Part of it. Continuous with it. One small temporary pattern in the larger pattern. The thought should be frightening. Should make you feel lost. Alone. But it doesn't. It makes you feel connected. Connected to everything. To the stars and the dust and the darkness. To the people back in the city. To the rancher 20 miles north. To everyone who has ever looked up and wondered. To everyone who has ever felt small under the night sky. You're not alone. You're part of something vast. Something ancient. Something ongoing. You return to the dome. Continue the work. Third target. Fourth. Fifth. The night deepens. The temperature drops. Your fingers get cold. Even through gloves, you flex them. Keep the blood moving. Keep them functional. The work requires typing, requires pressing buttons, requires fine motor control. You can't let them get too cold. Can't let numbness set in. Around 11 p.m. you take a break. Heat water. Make tea. Herbal tea. No caffeine this late. You'll need to sleep eventually. Not soon, but eventually. Around 4 a.m. You'll work until then sleep a few hours. Then wake and work through the day. Processing data. Writing notes. Preparing for the next night. Then sleep again. Afternoon sleep. Nap really. Then wake for dinner. Then back to the dome. The rhythm. The pattern. Reversed from normal. Nocturnal. Living in darkness. Working in cold. Sleeping in day. It takes adjustment. Takes a few days to fully flip your schedule. But you've done it before. Many times. Your body knows. Adapts. Accepts. You carry the tea outside. Walk away from the dome. Away from the buildings. Into the open desert. The ground is rocky. Uneven. You walk carefully. No stumbling. No twisted ankle. You're alone out here. An injury would be serious. Dangerous even. Nearest hospital is 3 hours. Nearest person 20 miles. You're careful. Always careful. Respect the isolation. Respect the remoteness. Don't take risks. You find a flat spot. Sit on the ground. The rock is cold through your pants. You don't care. You sit, cross-legged, holding the warm cup, sipping tea, looking up. The Milky Way is directly overhead now. Zenith, the densest part, the core, Sagittarius, the center of our galaxy, 26,000 light-years away, hidden behind dust, impossible to see with optical telescopes. But you know it's there, a supermassive black hole, 4 million times the mass of the sun, sitting at the center, holding everything together, gravity well, everything orbiting it, our sun, our solar system, circling the galaxy every 230 million years. Galactic year. We've completed 20 galactic years since Earth formed, 20 trips around, and we'll complete many more, long after humans are gone, long after our sun dies. The galaxy will continue. The dance will continue. The pattern will go on. You feel dizzy, not from altitude, from perspective, from trying to hold it all in your mind. The scales, the times, the distances. Your brain isn't built for this. Built for hunting, for gathering, for social navigation, for survival on human scales. Meters and kilograms and seconds. Not light years and solar masses and billions of years. But you try anyway. Try to understand. Try to grasp. Knowing you can't. Not really. But trying feels important. Feels like the right thing to do. Use this brain. This consciousness. This brief window of awareness. To look. To question. To wonder. The tea cools. You drink it. Stand. Walk back to the dome. The work continues. More targets. More images. More data. Hours pass. midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., the deepest part of night, the earth at its darkest point, turned fully away from the sun, maximum shadow, maximum darkness, best observing, best seeing, the atmosphere most stable, the air most still. You take advantage. Long exposures now, deep sky objects, galaxies, nebulae, faint things, things that require patience, require darkness, require perfect conditions. You photograph the Horsehead Nebula, dark nebula, cloud of dust blocking light from behind, shaped like a horse's head, unmistakable, beautiful, one of the most famous objects in astronomy. You've seen it in textbooks, in posters, in documentaries, but seeing it yourself, capturing it yourself, with your own equipment, your own skill, that's different, that's personal, that's a relationship. You and the nebula, across 1,300 light years, connected by photons, by curiosity, by wonder. The night is so quiet, so still. The only sound is the wind, and the occasional click of the mount, the hum of the motors, the beep of the camera, mechanical sounds, human sounds, against the vast silence of space. Space is silent, no air to carry sound, no medium for waves, just light, just gravity, just the electromagnetic spectrum. We hear nothing from space. We only see, only detect, only infer. The silence is absolute, eternal, and somehow peaceful, somehow comforting, like the universe is holding its breath, waiting, watching, being. Act 3, Deep Night Meditation, 3 a.m. You've been observing for 6 hours. Your eyes are tired. Your back aches from sitting. Your feet are cold. But you're not done. Not yet. One more hour. One more set of targets. Then sleep. You stand. Stretch. Touch your toes. Roll your neck. Physical maintenance. Keeping the body functional. Keeping it willing. Asking it to stay awake. Stay alert. Stay present. Just a bit longer. You step outside. The cold is deeper now. Early morning cold. Desert cold. The temperature has dropped below freezing. 30 degrees. Maybe less. Your breath is thick vapor. Your face numb. You pull the hood of your parka up. Tighten the drawstrings. Only your eyes exposed now. Minimum skin. Maximum warmth. The sky has rotated. Different constellations overhead. The earth has turned. The perspective has shifted. What was rising in the east is now high. What was high is now setting in the west. Constant motion. Constant change. And yet it feels still. Feels eternal. The same patterns humans have watched for thousands of years. The same stars. The same configurations. Orion, Taurus, Pleiades, ancient names, ancient stories, different cultures, different interpretations, but the same stars, connecting us across time, across space, across all the boundaries we create. Under the stars we're all the same, all small, all temporary, all searching for meaning in the darkness. You think about your life, your choices, the path that led you here. You could have done other things, studied other subjects, chosen other careers, med school, law school, business. Your parents wanted that, wanted stability, security, predictability. They didn't understand astronomy, didn't understand spending years studying things that have no practical application, no economic value, no immediate benefit. Why study distant galaxies? Why measure starlight? Why care about things that happened millions of years ago? Questions they asked, questions you didn't have good answers for, still don't. Not answers they would accept. But you couldn't not do this. Couldn't choose the practical path. Couldn't ignore the pull. The need to understand. The need to look up. The need to know. It's not logical. Not sensible. It's a calling. A compulsion. Something deeper than choice. You're built for this. Your brain craves this. Craves pattern. Craves knowledge. Craves the feeling of understanding. The seeing. Of connecting dots across the cosmos. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's lonely. Yes, the pay is bad and the job market is terrible and the future is uncertain. Yes, you might never get a faculty position. Might end up teaching high school or working in tech or doing something completely unrelated. Might look back in 20 years and wonder if it was worth it. All the debt, all the sacrifice, all the time. Was it worth it? But standing here, under this sky, in this moment, yes, it's worth it. This feeling, this perspective, this peace, it's worth it. Even if it's temporary, even if it doesn't last, even if tomorrow you wake up full of doubt and anxiety and regret. Right now, in this moment, it's worth it. You walk farther from the buildings, deeper into the desert, away from any artificial light, even the dim red lights, even the glow of the computer screen. You want pure darkness, pure sky, pure experience. You find a spot, lie down on the ground, on your back, arms spread, looking straight up. The cold of the earth seeps through your parka, through your layers, into your back. You don't care. You lie still. Let your eyes adjust fully. Let them see everything. And there it is, everything. The full dome of the sky, edge to edge, horizon to horizon. More stars than you can count, more than you can comprehend. The Milky Way a bright band, cutting the sky in half. Nebulae visible as fuzzy patches, galaxies as faint smudges, satellites crossing, tiny bright dots, moving steadily, human objects, our technology, circling above, watching, communicating, navigating. We've filled near-Earth space with machines, thousands of them, and from down here they look like moving stars, slow meteors, crossing the sky in minutes, predictable, trackable, known. But beyond them, beyond our satellites, beyond our solar system, beyond our galaxy, the deep field, the unknown, the incomprehensible, billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, each star potentially with planets, Each planet potentially with conditions, some tiny fraction potentially with life, potentially with consciousness, potentially with beings looking up at their sky, wondering if they're alone, wondering if anyone is out there, looking, wondering, hoping. Are we alone? The question everyone asks, the question you've thought about countless times. Probably not. Statistically, probably not. The universe is too big, too old, too full of possibility. Life probably exists elsewhere. Maybe lots of it. Maybe it's common. Maybe every star system has some form of life. Bacteria, plants, animals. Maybe some have intelligence, technology, civilization. Maybe some are far ahead of us. Maybe they've been around for millions of years, billions even. Maybe they've solved the problems we're struggling with. Energy, resources, conflict, mortality. Maybe they're looking at us right now, watching, wondering about us. Or maybe not. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're too different, too alien, too beyond us. Maybe they exist on timescales we can't comprehend. Maybe they're already extinct. Maybe they destroyed themselves. Maybe that's the pattern. Intelligence rises, creates technology, destroys itself. A brief flash, a cosmic blink, then silence, then nothing. We don't know, can't know, not yet, maybe never. The distances are too great, the silence too profound. We send signals, we listen, we search, but so far nothing, just silence, just static, just the background hiss of the universe. Maybe we're too early, maybe we're too late, maybe we're alone. Maybe that's the answer. We're the only ones, the only consciousness in the observable universe, the only ones looking, wondering, trying to understand. And if that's true, if we're alone, then we're precious, irreplaceable. The universe's only way of knowing itself, the only observers, the only ones capable of wonder. That's a heavy responsibility, a sacred responsibility, to survive, to persist, to keep looking, keep questioning, keep trying to understand. For the universe, on behalf of the universe. But maybe we're not alone. Maybe the universe is full of life, full of minds, full of beings looking up at their skies, feeling what you're feeling right now, small, connected. But maybe somewhere a being is lying on its back, looking at its Milky Way, thinking about you, about Earth, about the possibility of contact. Maybe our signals will reach each other someday. Maybe not in our lifetimes. Maybe not for thousands of years. But maybe eventually. Maybe the silence will break. Maybe we'll know. Maybe we'll connect. Maybe we'll learn we're part of something even larger than we imagined. You don't know. Can't know. But lying here, under infinite stars, in infinite darkness, in infinite cold, you feel it, the connection, even without proof, without evidence, without certainty. You feel it, you're not alone. The universe is not empty. The darkness is not void. It's full, full of light, full of matter. full of energy, full of possibility, full of mystery, full of meaning. Even if you can't see it, can't prove it, can't know it, you feel it, and that's enough. That has to be enough. Your back is very cold now. Numbness spreading. Time to move. Time to return. Time to finish the work. You stand slowly, stiff, cold, but satisfied, federal filled. Whatever you came out here for, you got it. That feeling, that perspective, that peace. You carry it back to the dome, back to the telescope, back to the work. Act 4, the final hours. 4 a.m. Last observations, last targets. Your eyes are heavy, your body tired, but your mind is calm, settled. The night has done its work, has given you what you needed. Perspective, this connection. You complete the observation sequence. Close the camera, park the telescope, power down systems. Everything in order. Everything prepared for tomorrow night. You're meticulous, careful, even when tired, especially when tired. That's when mistakes happen, when you cut corners. So you don't. You do it right. Every step, every time. You close the dome shutter, crank it slowly. The metal slides, closes overhead, seals, protecting the equipment, protecting the optics, from dust, from moisture, from daylight. The dome's secured. You turn off the red lights, lock the door, walk back to the living quarters. The sky is still dark. Won't be light for another 2 hours. But you're done. Done for tonight. You've earned rest. Inside the cabin you peel off layers. Parka, fleece, thermal top, down to base layer and pants. The cabin is cold but not freezing. Warmer than outside. You turn on the small heater. Just for a bit. Just to take the edge off. You'll turn it off before sleeping. But for now, for a few minutes, warmth, circulation, thawing. You heat water, make more tea, chamomile, soothing, sleep-inducing. You sit at the desk, sip slowly, let your body transition, from work mode to rest mode, from alertness to sleepiness, from observer to observed. You open your notebook, handwritten notes. You prefer writing by hand. Something about the physical act, the connection between thought and movement, pen to paper, making marks, creating records, more real than typing, more permanent. You write, brief notes, tonight's observations, successful, good seeing, clear sky, all targets acquired, data saved. You write about the sky, the Milky Way, the feeling of lying on the cold ground, looking up, feeling small, feeling connected. You write about the silence, the vastness, the peace. You write to remember, to capture, to hold on to something that can't really be captured, something that has to be experienced, but you try anyway. Try to put words to it. Try to create a record, a testament. I was here. I saw this. I felt this. I understood this. For a moment, however briefly, I understood. You closed the notebook, finished the tea, stand, prepare for sleep, brush your teeth, wash your face, cold water, shocking, bracing, waking you up even as you try to wind down. You dry off, look at yourself in the small mirror, tired eyes, wind-chapped lips, but alive, present, real. You nod to yourself, recognition, acknowledgement. You did the work, you showed up, you witnessed. Good enough, more than enough. The bed is small, narrow, but comfortable. Thick sleeping bag, down-filled, rated to 0 degrees. You climb in, fully clothed, layers still on. The cabin is too cold to sleep exposed. You zip the bag, settle, adjust, find position. The pillow is thin, flat. You don't care. You're tired, truly tired, good tired, earned tired. The kind of tired that comes from meaningful work, from purpose, from presence. You lie on your back, looking at the ceiling, rough wood, knotty pine, shadows from the small light. You think about turning off the light, but not yet, not quite ready for darkness. After 6 hours of darkness, after infinite darkness above, you want light for a moment, want warmth, want human comfort. You lie there, breathing, listening to the wind outside, the constant wind, the desert wind, the Mesa wind. It never stops, never quiets, a constant companion, a reminder. Continue. 9:46 p.m. Not alone, even in isolation, even in solitude. You're accompanied by wind, by stars, by the turning earth, by the wheeling cosmos. Your eyes close, heavy lids. Can't keep them open, don't want to. Let them close. Let the darkness behind your eyelids match the darkness outside. Let internal and external merge. Let boundaries dissolve. You're drifting, not just toward sleep, toward something else, toward integration, toward wholeness, toward acceptance of your smallness, of your temporariness, of your insignificance, and paradoxically, of your significance, of your uniqueness, of your precious brief moment of consciousness in an unconscious universe. You are matter that knows it's matter. You are the universe aware of itself. You are stardust contemplating stars. You are impossible, improbable, miraculous, and temporary. So temporary. Your life measured in decades. Cosmic eye blink. Soon gone. Soon forgotten. Soon returned to component elements. Carbon to carbon. Oxygen to oxygen. Nitrogen to nitrogen. Recycled. Reused. Reformed into new patterns. New structures. Maybe new life. Probably not consciousness again. Probably not this specific unique awareness. This is your one shot, your one chance, your one moment to look, to see, to understand, to feel, to be. And you're using it well as you know how. Looking up, asking questions, seeking understanding, embracing mystery, accepting not knowing, finding peace in insignificance, finding meaning in meaninglessness, finding connection in isolation. The paradoxes don't bother you anymore. Used to. Used to try to resolve them. Used to need answers. Used to need certainty. But now, after nights like this, after hours under the stars, after feeling the cosmic perspective, the paradoxes make sense. They're not problems to solve. They're truths to hold. Simultaneously. Both slash and rather than either slash or. You are insignificant and significant. Meaningless and meaningful. Alone and connected. Temporary and eternal. All of it true. All of it real. All of it part of the larger mystery. The wind gusts. The cabin creaks. Old wood settling. Expanding. Contracting. Breathing. Everything breathes. Everything moves. Nothing is still. Not really. Not ever. Particles vibrating. Atoms jittering. Electrons orbiting. Motion all the way down. Motion all the way up. Planets spinning. Stars orbiting. Galaxies moving. Universe expanding. Everything in motion. Everything flowing. Everything becoming. Never being. Always becoming. Process not product. Journey not destination. This moment not a stopping point but a transition. From what was to what will be. From past to future. And you're in it. Part of it. Riding the wave. Surfing the quantum foam. Dancing the cosmic dance. Your breathing slows. Deepens. Matches the rhythm of the wind. In with the gust. Out with the lull. Natural rhythm. Breath rhythm. Life rhythm. The same rhythm everything breathes. Trees. Animals. Oceans. Atmosphere. All breathing. All exchanging. All participating. All alive. You're part of the alive universe. Not separate. Not observer only. Participant. Actor. Dancer. Singer. You matter. Your breath matters. Your presence matters. Even if infinitely small. Even if cosmically insignificant. You matter. Because you're here. Because you're aware. Because you're part of it. Sleep is close now. Very close. The edge blurring. Between awake and asleep. Between conscious and unconscious. Between thought and dream. You let yourself drift. Let yourself cross. Let yourself surrender. To sleep. To rest. To the darkness behind darkness. To the peace beyond peace. To the silence within silence. The light is still on. You should turn it off. But you can't move. Too heavy. Too tired. Too far gone. Let it stay. Let it burn. Solar power. Battery backup. It will last. And tomorrow. Later today. When you wake. You'll turn it off. You'll begin again. But now. Now rest. Now sleep. Now let go. The universe continues. The wind blows. The stars wheel. The earth turns. And you sleep. Deep sleep. Dreamless sleep. The sleep of the exhausted. The sleep of the satisfied. The sleep of the cosmically insignificant. The sleep of the universally connected. The sleep of the observer. the sleep of the observed, the sleep of stardust, the sleep of consciousness, the sleep of the night sky observer. Sleep, observer. Your watch is complete. The universe will continue without you. The stars will shine. The galaxies will spin. The cosmos will expand. All of it happening. All of it being. Whether you watch or not. Whether you record or not. Whether you understand or not. It continues. Eternal. Infinite. Indifferent. And beautiful. So beautiful. Tomorrow you will wake. You will process data. You will eat simple food. You will walk the Mesa. You will watch the sunset. You will return to the dome. You will observe again. You will continue the work. The endless work. The meaningful work. The work of watching. Of witnessing. Of being present to the cosmos. But now you rest. Now you integrate. Now you let the night's observations settle into your bones, into your cells, into your consciousness, becoming part of you, part of your understanding, part of your perspective, part of your peace. The Drift Bureau thanks you for your service. File number 003 is now complete. Your assignment is finished. The observations are recorded. The data is saved. The universe is witnessed. And you have earned your rest. Sleep well, observer. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. The cosmos is in good hands. The stars are shining. The darkness is full. And you can finally rest. Good night. Good night. Good night.